Hi everyone, this is Elena Jordan and this is your Meet the Coaches video for October 2017 Oil Camp. So I think this should be really exciting for us. We want to make sure that you get to know everybody who's on this phone call and see a little bit about us, hear a little bit about us, because we're going to be hearing a lot about you, and we want to make sure that we're answering all of your questions and really getting a chance to know you. So on the top row there, I don't know if you can see the faces and the names. So as I said, I'm Elena, and then next to me are Heather and Howard Weimer, and they work together. They're a wonderful couple that live in South Jersey. Marie Durso next to them, also a phenomenal leader. She's a mom and a grandmom and knows a lot about working with oils, essential oils with pets. Sarita Barbera, who's a mom and a grandma and also knows a lot about animals now that I think about it, and is a wonderful hostess. She's really good at putting things together and organizing, so she's your gal. Karen Johnson, right next to Sarita, who is a registered nurse, and she's been a nurse from everybody from newborn babies to the elderly and everything in between. And she runs actually a medical spa now, so she's got a lot of knowledge about essential oils, much more than I have. So we're really super happy to have her on this oil camp. And finally, we have Teresa Kafara. And Teresa works with her husband, Nick. She has a son, actually, who's in the military and is very distinguished. And the cool thing about Teresa also is that she's a teacher at heart. And she recently spent some time in the Philippines. So if you have any questions about working overseas or specifically working in the Philippines, she's the gal for you. So I'm actually going to start, Teresa, so I don't have to go back around. I'm going to start with you. If you'll tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got to be involved with essential oils, and then tell us what's your goal maybe for oil camp.
Thanks, Selena. It's wonderful to work with you and everybody else on this call. So it's a privilege, and I look forward to spending time with the new people that are here on the camp. We get started with essential oils kind of looking at what our health was looking like. So as we were getting a little bit older and wanted to take better care of ourselves, we started to step into that in regards to using the essential oils and using the supplements, which are incredible. And so that's what we're doing. I'm still encouraging my son to use them. That's something in progress. And I look forward to spending time with the people that are on oil camp and telling them a little bit more about the oils that we're using and some of our programs. So thank you.
That's great. Teresa, do you have a favorite oil?
Balance. Absolutely balance.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Okay, and next to Teresa is Sarita. Sarita, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with oils, and maybe what's your favorite oil?
Okay, hi campers. Yes, I'm a mom of 5 girls and 3 grandsons. I got involved with essential oils when I started going through menopause, and I wasn't sleeping at night. So I tried a little bit of lavender on my pillow, and I was pretty much sold. Best sleep probably in 30 years.
Oh my.
I also started pretty much my second experience was when my daughter was having some head pain, and I reached for my Tylenol like I usually did, and I decided to just try the peppermint instead, and it was just amazing. So I have never went back. So it's wonderful. I would say right now my favorite oil is Copaiba.
Oh, wow. Okay, the brand new one. Really cool.
Yep.
Thank you, Sarita. What are you using it for?
I recently sprained my ankle, and it just helped with inflammation amazingly. I'm walking like normal already, and it's only been a week and a half. So
I love it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, and next to Sarita is Marie Durso. So Marie, you can tell us a little bit about how you got involved with oils and what's your goal for camp maybe?
Okay. A little bottle of lavender, that's what got me into oils. I wasn't sleeping. That little bottle did the trick, and I never went back. And then I just added more and more, and I carry around all these little samples everywhere I go, and then some. So very much an oil user. Hang on one second, I'll show you somebody else. I have a little dog who is very afraid of thunder and lightning and rain. So this is Lonnie. And lavender works on Lonnie like a miracle.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Well, thank you, Lonnie, for joining us, and thank you, Marie, mom of Lonnie. And we're really happy to have you on the call. And I should say also that Marie is a master enroller. She talks to everyone. She's always sharing oils. So to have her on the call is super special. Thank you for being on Oil Camp, Marie. That's really wonderful. Okay, so now, you're welcome. Next to Marie, we have Heather and Howard. And Heather and Howard work together, and they have kind of a cool story to tell. Whoops, Heather and Howard, let me see if I can get you there. There we go. Okay, I have you on. So tell us a little bit about what you do and what's your story?
So my story is that I was struggling with some health concerns for many, many years, actually decades, and a friend introduced me to Breathe, and it really helped to open up my airways and really helped me to stop struggling. So we have a large family. We have 10 children, and we wanted to do things differently with them. So I started out with the Breathe, but we really, went forward pretty full force after that, because I didn't want my children using all the medication like I had done when I was younger. So that's how I kind of got started, and he kind of, I drug him along with me. He was a skeptic at the beginning.
For me, I was a bit skeptical in the beginning. Had to see that they actually worked, I guess, before I jumped in. And just seeing the difference they made with Heather and her respiratory issues, and then watching them being used with the children, and then finally me using them, and just some of my health concerns were addressed with them. How could I say no? And then learning the heart of the company really did it for me. Knowing the culture and the heart of the company, where it's all about sharing and relationships, and watching our team, both the upline and downline, and just how everybody is the same. It's amazing the way everybody treats one another and is there for each other.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Heather and Howard. And that's a terrific testimonial, because we have a lot of people in doTERRA that work alone. They work singly, like me. And you may have a significant other, but you're not necessarily working with them. But we also have people that work together with their partner in life and their partner in crime, if you will. And it's great to see Heather and Howard on Oil Camp, and they're going to be really amazing coaches. You can imagine, with a big family, they have seen it all. So I just want to quickly introduce one person who didn't get on this Meet Your Coaches video right from the beginning. Her name is Chantal Howard, and Chantal is going to be one of the coaches for this Oil Camp. She is out in the Midwest area, and actually I'm going to skip over you for the second, Chantal, so you have a chance to collect your thoughts. Talk to us about why you are interested in essential oils. I'm going to go to Karen Johnson, and then I'll come back to you. So next we have Karen Johnson on the line. And Karen Johnson, as I mentioned to you before, is a registered nurse. And she has this beautiful, warm, loving face, as you can see. And I have to say, when we worked together for a long time, not just in doTERRA, but in other things. And Karen would always take really good care of me whenever I would go to her house. She would have lunch for me, a delicious vegetarian or vegan lunch, and we would always have a wonderful time talking to people about essential oils. And she was always giving me tips that I had never heard of before. So Karen, tell us a little bit about how you started using oils, and maybe how long you've been using oils, because that's a really cool number. And then also, what's your goal for Oil Camp?
I was introduced to oils when I was out marketing for my clinic, AccuSource Healing. I was in Whole Foods. It was late in the afternoon, and I was feeling really tired, and you know how you get that time of day. And this woman came along and said, "Oh, here, try some peppermint oil." And she put it on my hands, and I rubbed them together, and she showed me what to do. And I said, wow, I smelled peppermint before, but I had no idea that it could be that powerful. my head cleared up and my mind became bright again, and I had my energy back. So that was my introduction to oils, and it didn't take me long to incorporate it not only into my own personal life, but I also began to use them with my clients here. And it was really the feedback that I got from my clients that helped me to get deeper and deeper into the oils. I've always had a passion for empowering people by teaching them how to take charge of their health. So as I learned more about the oils, I realized this is exactly perfect for me. I'm teaching all the time anyway, and now I get to empower people in another way with the essential oils. So for me, this camp is all about empowerment. It's all about helping people to learn how to take charge of their health and really keep themselves well, and stay out of the hands of big pharma.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank you, Karen. And so now I'm going to jump back and or jump forward, if you will, and put Chantal on the line. Hold on, Chantal, just a second. I'm going to open up the line. There we go. And if you can tell us a little bit about, I see you have Aleo there in the background. So tell us a little bit about how you started with oils and what's your goal sort of for camp.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm very excited about Oil Camp. To me, it really resonates. I grew up in Colorado, camping in the mountains and living this idea of camp all the time. In fact, my mother, up until just recently, has had 40 acres that we ran around on as kids, and we called it camp. So when you proposed Oil Camp, I instantly thought about all of the amazing experiences in the wilderness that I had as a child. And in a sense, the way that shaped and formed me as a person. And what ended up bringing me to oils was a little bit of that do-it-yourself spirit. I grew up, I was homeschooled all the way through. My husband and I now are doing a ministry on our own. We've homeschooled our children. I've just had an avid love for doing things perhaps a little bit out of the box. Had 4 of those babies born at home. And interestingly, I came to oils primarily through a real tragic moment in my life. My little brother passed away. He was severely handicapped, and my mother asked that we just have a time of just grieving and closure with him. And she proposed the concept of using essential oils, much like they did in biblical times, to anoint the body. And I began to be part of that process and began to understand that oils were used because of their antiseptic nature, because of their significant biblical foundations. And after that experience, which you can imagine was extremely poignant, and just even to this day, I smell certain oils, clove and the cypress and the jasmine. They're all oils that we would have used in that experience. And I'm taken back to that moment where my little brother kind of etched in my heart forever this concept that aroma can influence us, not just in a physical way, but in an emotional way as well. So that kind of launched me on my search to understand more about the biblical nature of oils as well as the scientific nature. And I just have been digging ever since. I have 5 kiddos of my own. We use the oils for many of their needs. And my husband in particular has had extraordinary successes after a real rough childhood. He's the opposite end of the spectrum. He grew up in urban New Jersey, and he didn't have the privilege of the clean air and the beautiful blue skies that I did. And so in a certain sense, I feel like the oils do provide that freedom, not only physically, but also emotionally. So I just am excited to bring Oil Camp to my team, my young team that's growing and emerging with a lot of passion and conviction. And I just hope that we can help them discover the unique place these oils play in our health and our freedom, and even in helping us to achieve just our higher purposes and greater missions in life.
That's great. Thank you, Chantal. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing your personal experience, for being really candid with us. I also want to say that I want to remind everyone that camp is a 2-week experience, but no mosquitoes, no tents. And while Chantal grew up in really a beautiful, idyllic setting, I grew up right in the center of Manhattan. And I remember going to sleepaway camp when I was about, 12 or so, Girl Scout camp. And the only thing I can remember about it is that I never changed my socks in 5 days. So needless to say, I walked away with quite an impression of camp. And I have to say, I never looked back. So it's been all hotels for me. But I love the idea that everyone who's coming to this table, whether you've had a rich experience in nature or you're a city girl or guy at heart, if you're from a big family or a small, if you are a pet enthusiast, if you have kids or grandchildren, or maybe none of those things apply to you, Oil Camp can really be a great thing. So I want to just say thank you to everyone for being on this video this morning or this evening, whenever you're listening to it. Have a lot of fun with Oil Camp. I guarantee that it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see and hear things that you've probably never seen or heard before. So thank you all to everyone who's joining us for Oil Camp October, and I can't wait to see you next week. See you on Monday. Bye-bye now.